that we wanted to look at. The first was, since we're talking about Oculus, is Facebook acquiring the VR studio that created Asgard's Wrath,
Hmm.
which is, I just want to make sure I say it rightly, Sanzaru Games.
Yeah, I believe so.
Bay Area. They are Bay Area based. They developed Asgard's Wrath, and this is kind of coming on the heels of them acquiring, as we were talking about before this, Beat Saber. So the studio that brought to you Beat Saber. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on this in terms of Oculus kind of just scooping up companies that are making some great games? Now, obviously, I think Beat Saber had a more mainstream appeal with,
Hmm.
and was definitely more well known.
Hmm.
But I think the hype around Asgard's Wrath was legitimate in the sense of it being kind of a game for serious gamers who are trying to get into VR,
Hmm.
and not just, I'm not going to call Beat Saber a tech demo, but it's more like a social game that
Hmm.
got a lot of coverage through that. But
Hmm.
Asgard's Wrath offering what it did. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, what are your thoughts? Do we expect more of this?
Yeah, I mean, now realizing that that happened, I'm not surprised. Just in terms of, I don't know if Oculus was involved at all in the funding of Asgard's Wrath. I mean, I know it was a game that was exclusive to the Oculus store, so it makes sense to me that a team that did that well and was able to make such a successful VR product, that Oculus would want to scoop them up to make them an exclusive studio.
Yeah,
And I'm happy for studios that are able to kind of see their payday. And you don't want studios. You hate to see people lose control of their companies.
yeah,
And so you never know. Like, I mean, I think every fit is going to be different. So hopefully, Sanzaru Games is that. Hopefully, they just see lots of benefits from being acquired by Facebook, and don't kind of see any of the problems that sometimes arise in those types of situations. But I'm sure they didn't make like, who knows where all this stuff is headed. And for a studio that had a big hit title, made a lot of money, this is just extra job security for those folks. So hopefully now they can move on to making new projects that are just as awesome as Asgard's Wrath.
yeah,
Hopefully this means that they have even more economic freedom to push what they were able to do in the first game further.
yeah,
So I think it's overall a good thing, because I think, I mean, there's so many ways that you can play these games now on multiple headsets. You can use Revive to play most of these, all
mhm,
of the Oculus games, pretty much on other headsets, including the Index or the Vive or the Cosmos, as far as I'm aware. I actually don't know if Cosmos works with Revive, but I assume it does.
okay,
But
well, yeah,
but yeah. Anyways, I mean, there's Oculus has been pretty good about letting users find ways of playing their games so far on other headsets. Um, so it's not the end of the world for me in that respect. So and yeah, Asgard's Wrath was awesome. I'm still of the opinion that I'd like to see more emphasis placed on, like, non-typical, kind of non-traditional games for VR, because I
yeah,
still think that's where I think we need to grow the market more in terms of capturing non-gamers rather than gamers.
mhm,
But it doesn't hurt to. I mean, gamers spend a lot of money, and Asgard's Wrath was really good. So I yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mind seeing more of that also. But
Now, the one thing that I do want to bring up, just so that our viewers and listeners know that we are um, at least somewhat self-aware of ourselves, because if they pull up a clip of us in 2016 where we were talking about exclusives and how exclusives weren't maybe the best thing for the industry, how has your perspective changed on that?
hmm.
And before I put you on the spot, I mean, I'll say for me, I still think that VR is in a place where it would benefit from not having too many exclusives.
Hmm.
I still stand by that.
Hmm.
But I think what's been really interesting for you and I, and especially the position that we've been in terms of being able to really connect on a personal level with a lot of these developers and a lot of these development studios.
Hmm.
Um, it's a big payday for them, and it's a big reward for the effort that they've been putting in. And it's a survivor. Was it called survivorship bias? Like a lot of these studios, they'll operate a loss. They won't get anything. They won't go anywhere. So I definitely happy for the people at Sanzaru. I mean, they made a fantastic game. They made a couple of fantastic games, and you definitely want to see that ingenuity, that creativity, that execution be rewarded.
Mhm.
And granted, like I think our opinion has probably definitely been shaped by the fact that we are now no longer just covering the Vive; we're
Mhm.
covering all platforms. So at the end of the day, I think the net benefit of Facebook still continuing, and Facebook and through that Oculus still continuing to pour a lot of money into VR and into virtual reality, I think will help to grow VR overall.
Mhm.
It's just one of those things where I like competition. I think that it's important, and I want to make sure that these games are available across all platforms. And you kind of alluded to that with Revive and all that, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
just it's one of those
yeah.
things where I feel like our opinion has probably publicly changed. So I just want to be
Yeah.
aware of
No,
that.
dude, good. Yeah, spot on. And I think I couldn't say any of what you just said better. I mean, you nailed it. Yeah, the only thing I'd add is that Oculus has shown over the course of the last 2-3 years that they've been. There was that brief stint where where there was some kind of an update that disabled Revive, but then they
Mm,
quickly backtracked it. And since then, they've allowed all of that stuff to peacefully coexist with their platforms. And so I think I might. I mean, despite knowing all the financials behind how this stuff works, I might be a little bit more sour about this issue if I wasn't able to find a way to get some of these titles to work on my preferred platform of choice, like my Index. Um,
mhm.
but ultimately, I think in a perfect world, I wouldn't mind having store exclusivity. I just wouldn't want headset exclusivity. So, like
That's a good distinction, actually. Yeah.
yeah, and that's not always possible. And I know for some companies they build the headsets at a loss or don't really put as yeah they're able to sell them for less than they would otherwise in order to get you to buy games on their platforms. But at the same time, I mean, I think if Oculus wants to pay to have certain content produced, or if Valve wants to pay to have certain content produced, Epic with their Epic Game Store, like I don't care where a title is sold, as
Mhm.
long as I can experience that on the hardware that I have.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will be something that continues forward.
Yeah. No, agree
So
100%. So, I mean, well, we'll see. Like I said, it's just good to see them pouring more money into the ecosystem, and hopefully that just means more amazing great games and content from Sanzuru and
yep,
other studios.
because I think you have to. I mean, the bottom line with the economic issues that you had mentioned, the bottom line is if games don't sell well enough, even if a game is really awesome, if a studio makes an amazing VR game and their choice is to get acquired or to stop making VR games and make other types of games, I think most of us here listening to this podcast and interested in VR would prefer the former and
Yeah.
have them get acquired and be able to still produce the awesome VR content that they want to make and that we want to buy.